I vow to win!
I can't wait to see the look of despair on your face.
Are we gonna stand here talking all day? Show me what you got!
Two kids destined with tragedy and clan burdens. Two kids born with special eyes, Neji Hyuga versus Sasuke Uchiha. The hypothetical match that would stick out in the Chunin Exams more than any other is claimed by the fanbook. The Chunin Exams is one of the most enjoyable and pivotal arcs in Naruto, ranking amongst the top 3 for many people. Essentially, great nations come together to present the next generation's battle power in the form of their Genin, forcing these Genin to participate in rigorous challenges, forcing them to battle it out. However, we only got to see a number of fights, and many fans were cut short on the one they wanted to see most, Sasuke versus Neji. So today, I'm essentially going to be discussing this matchup in order to answer your guys' questions on how this fight would actually go. Now, I'm sure you've seen the title of this video, and I'm not really in agreement with most people. However, I certainly don't believe that I am wrong, and I would like to ask you to sit back and relax as I change your perspective and opinion on this topic, or maybe I'll just reinforce it. Going off that, my goal here is not to make you say, Neji destroys Sasuke or Sasuke is fodder, but I do want you to allow yourself to see that Sasuke isn't beating Neji, or at least beating Neji as easily as you might think. Last but not least, before we get into this, I want to ask you guys if you guys can please like and subscribe, as I do put a lot of effort into my content, and if you do happen to enjoy my content, maybe consider checking out another video or check out my TikTok page where I post nearly every single day. Sasuke versus Neji is a very interesting and complex matchup. However, I do think the best way of comparing these two geniuses is none other than through the genius of hard work, Rock Lee. Rock Lee is a character who has both interacted with Neji and Sasuke, as well as Sasuke's main opponent, Gaara. So I certainly think that we should go off how strong Rock Lee is to determine how strong Neji and Sasuke are in comparison. So Rock Lee is an absolute monster. The best showing is taking into account his fight with Gaara, more specifically at the time he didn't have his ways and was in the gates. This Lee was shown above, or at least a perception blitz level above Gaara, blitzing him several times per single page, without Gaara ever even being able to show a sign of reacting or combating Lee, only ever actually combating Lee when Lee was exasperated and drained from the gates and Gaara caught him off guard. So if it isn't clear, Rock Lee whilst in gates using these panels should be far above the likes of Gaara. This is extremely important because once Lee enters the 5th gate and does the Lotus, we get a statement from Guy claiming that, quote, this high-speed combo is the key to beating Neji. Now, yes, Neji isn't actually mentioned at all in the original Viz translation and is clearly left out, even though the kanji we have is directly referring to Neji, so Viz would just be wrong here. Meaning that in regards to speed, Neji should be on the same level as a 5th gate Lee, since the Lotus obviously increases speed. However, with a lowball interpretation, this could just be interpreted as a 4th gate, or what still in the works for scaling. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are in your seats right now wondering, well, if he's this damn fast, then why do you lose to Naruto? To which that is a whole discussion in and of itself, but Neji was demonstrably shown above the likes of base Naruto, and once Naruto went into the Kurama cloak, actually controlling it, Neji seeing Naruto master and overcome such a burden did quite a bit of damage to Neji's fatalistic philosophy. To which, to further understand this, you need to first understand Naruto and Neji's dynamic before I go into why him being off-guarded is not really an anti-feat for Neji. Neji was born into a throwaway side branch of one of the most prominent clans in all of Konoha. The reason for this is nothing more than a few-month birth difference for his father. Something so small led to Neji's grand and dangerous philosophy, a philosophy I would argue to be the literal embodiment of the side branch. Neji believed that no matter what, overcoming a predetermined path is impossible, something to which Naruto completely contradicts. Naruto believed that Neji is talented and can use his talents to do something truly great, but he simply throws it all away because he believes he's bound by some weird path and doesn't even have to be. Naruto finally shows this to Neji during their fight, as I mentioned. Him controlling such a huge burden, one maybe even worse than Neji's, allowed Neji to stall and be caught off guard by Naruto, as the First Databook describes. So no, Neji's skills above base Naruto and should be relative to the likes of a KCM 0 Naruto as shown here. And so I just want you to pocket this for now, and we'll come back to it. But the one thing I just need you to know is that this KCM 0 Naruto is above the one that he was training that could summon Gamabunta. So, as of right now, Neji is above 4th gate Lee in speed and is relative to KCM 0 Naruto in strength. Now, to tie this all in to Sasuke, now, yes, the anime guidebook actually does claim Sasuke is Gaara's strongest opponent. which is certainly fine as it does not really pertain to speed, as we saw the fourth and fifth gate was doing to Gaara and post-training Sasuke was stated to be equal to a base weightless Lee by my guy. Gaara corroborates this as well as seeing a mirror image of them in base speed, meaning that Neji is 4th gate Lee level and Sasuke is base Lee level, and we know that the gates are said to be dozens of times the user's normal ability, dozens being plural, meaning that at least 2 dozen, being 24 times Rock Lee's weightless speed. Again, this would mean that Neji would be above 24 times base Sasuke speed, and you can't even say the curse mark would just make Sasuke relative due to the fact that Jugo states the curse mark stage 2 is a 10 times amp, meaning that curse mark stage 1 is less than 10. So if it isn't clear by now, at the start of the match, Neji is a blitz level above Sasuke. Now, to digress away from this for a minute, I'm sure you've noticed how I've neglected Sasuke's best scaling or his most common scaling and only talked about speed. Sasuke's most notable scaling comes from the anime profile guides, claiming that Sasuke is the best of the leaf. Now, the reason as to why this is wrong is Neji also has very similar statements, with one actually pertaining to the manga rather than the anime, which we have statements from the official Kishimoto fan book, which does pertain to the manga, claiming that they carry the reputation for being the best known leaf. Not just this, however, we have statements such as a statement from Kakashi stating that Neji is the strongest Genin, to which following report 6, he also talks about how he trained Sasuke. Or how about the Naruto 10-year anniversary guide saying that Neji is widely considered among all as the greatest Genin? Or not even that. What about Rock Lee believing that Neji is his greatest opponent whilst fighting Gaara in the 5th gate, which he was doing better than Sasuke? To which Lee was perception blitzing most of the Genin. Neji, similar to Sasuke, was able to perceive him fine with the respective dojutsu. Now, I'm not certain 100% that he was Jonin level, but it actually does require 4 Jonin to stop Neji when it only took 1 to stop Gaara. However, regardless of what you think, Neji should be at least the same tier of strength. But if you do want to believe that Sasuke's statement was later, therefore it takes precedence above all the Neji statements, then fine, I can be generous and grant that. So Sasuke actually did show better feats against Gaara, which is why I'm granting it. It's because he did, again, show better feats than Lee did in terms of strength, such as kicking Gaara, making him bleed, bringing him to his knees. This is something that Lee was never able to replicate. Sasuke being the strongest isn't even that inconsistent, as the First Databook, as I mentioned earlier, states that Gaara found himself at a disadvantage against his strongest opponent. Now, yes, Sasuke does have an elemental advantage, but regardless, I do think it's talking about raw power, so Sasuke is over Neji in physical strength, at least in taking this interpretation, which is fine because Neji doesn't need strength. Moreover, he has the Gentle Fist, which is capable of negating physical durability, so regardless of Sasuke, and if he has the attack potency, and using Newton's third law, it would be durability as well, it's absolutely null and void since the Gentle Fist is able to shut down the heart from the outside of the chest, as well as shut down all the chakra points prohibiting movement. This is shown against Hinata, who is actually doing it to him as well. Neji's biggest problem now is the fact that Sasuke does have the curse mark. So if Neji does blitz Sasuke off start, which is likely, as I've already proven, Sasuke does have the curse mark, which can flow an external chakra source into Sasuke's body, allowing him to tank a full Gentle Fist barrage potentially. Hard countering Neji's primary ability for sure. Now, to recap all that I've said before I move to a Chidori amped Sasuke, we have Neji 24 times faster than base Sasuke and at least 14 times faster than a curse mark Sasuke. So we have Sasuke above Neji in physical strength as well. However, again, that's null and void as Neji has a durability negating technique within the Gentle Fist. Now I want to go in their other main abilities. And yes, I have already went over the Gentle Fist, but I want to delve into the lone Uchiha's strong point, his Chidori, as well as the Caged Bird's ultimate defense, the rotation. The best part about Sasuke is the fact that he is able to use the Chidori with an uncommon proficiency, a proficiency that even my guy, a Jonin, views to be dangerous. The best part about the Chidori is that it's actually shown to significantly increase speed, being fast to the point where Sasuke requires his Sharingan just to perceive his own movements. Chidori Sasuke is shown capable of reacting to in blitzing base Gaara and being relative to a transformed Gaara to a low-end degree. Now, yes, being generous to Sasuke, I will give him some early feats of Konoha Crush, or at least up until the point where Sasuke starts to surpass all of his limits when he's thinking about Itachi and just pushes out that one extra Chidori. So, as then we get to a point where Sasuke is faster and stronger than he was in the actual Chunin exams, which kind of just defeats the point of this matchup. Now, yes, Sasuke can react to Gaara. However, the context to which this happens, is never in raw movement speed and is only ever performed via long distance linear pathways or using precognition to react to more linear movements. The only time he was ever able to react without the Chidori as well is when Gaara is coming from an extremely substantial distance to which Sasuke anticipated hitting a fireball at him. Now, when Sasuke is on the ground, base Naruto is capable of blitzing Gaara in order to protect Sasuke. This would be the same Naruto that I mentioned earlier that Neji was above. Now, we know this because, again, this Naruto, who is in base, states he couldn't summon Gamabunta initially, and the one that fought Neji was capable of being stronger than his training one, which could summon Gamabunta. So Neji would be above this Naruto, who just blitzed Gaara, who's relative to Sasuke. So essentially now we have, if Neji doesn't blitz Sasuke in the beginning of the fight, Sasuke could react to Neji if Neji's movements are very linear. However, Neji's movements inside of the 8 trigram 64 palms rotation, Neji's movements move in such an exponential fashion that it's stated to be an even greater defense than Gaara's. The same Gaara that Sasuke had an elemental advantage against and was still showing signs of struggle. Neji's rotation is even better than the rare amount of Jonin shinobi who can perform it via inserting chakra into their palm. Neji actually inserts chakra into his fingertips, allowing for greater movement and precision, stopping any and all attacks. So yeah, no matter which way you flip this, Neji is a winner of this matchup, and Sasuke doesn't have any counters to the rotation or the gentle fist, since he would just negate the durability. And yeah, again, Sasuke can be stronger, but that's not really the point. Now, this matchup has been done by nearly every Naruto content creator out there, and most creators simply go off the Sasuke is the strongest statements and tend to ignore all the surrounding context, leading to a very disappointing and lackluster conclusion at best. However, I hoped I managed to change your mind a little bit on the real victor, or maybe just alter your perspective towards a closer match than what you may have thought. And again, I do put a lot of effort into these videos, so it would be greatly appreciated if you could like. And again, I'm just an honest guy here, and I just believe that most of the creators who have done this matchup did it very disingenuously, and it was kind of annoying to see them just bring up the same thing like clockwork. So I just wanted to put a new perspective. And again, if you like what you hear or you've listened to me before, maybe consider subscribing. And yeah, as always, next time.